Due to the demonetization of true crime videos on YouTube, I've created a Patreon for those of you who would like to support the channel. The link is in the description below. Get access to ad-free content, early access, and exclusive videos depending on the tier. Thank you so much. Also, we've created a Discord channel for those of you who would like to join the community. Link in the description. Shout out to our first Patreon producers, Jason Harrison Taz and Skylar James Wicker. I really appreciate you guys' generous support as it helps me continue to make content. Hello, and welcome back to the interrogation of Grant Amato, the Twitch streamer who killed his parents and brother when they prevented him from talking to a webcam model he was obsessed with. If you haven't seen part 1, it covers the background of the case and the first half of the interrogation where the detectives build rapport. In this part, the detectives put the pressure on Grant. Now let's get to the breakdown.
Sorry, man. I need the bathroom.
Oh, okay. And I wanted to point out a picture of Fort Christmas because we're not aware. I'm not familiar with the area, so.
So we're going to go back and talk again about this because it's kind of important to me about Cody and you meeting that night.
Right.
So then that night, which was Thursday night, you meet Cody because and did he ever tell you why he left work early?
No. I mean, he was. I'd assumed that it was just because he had been allowed to leave early.
Been allowed to leave early. Okay.
So here's.
I think this is the blinking lights there.
So this is, to me, this is 419 left on Lake Mills, right? Left on Fort Christmas. Okay. Where would you say you met Cody on Fort Christmas?
So wait, is this that other like neighborhood?
I think maybe I'm wrong. I think it comes this way is 419.
This is
Orange
where all
County side?
No, I think this is up by the hitching post. You come up, you make a right on Fort Christmas.
This is where the blinking lights are.
Okay.
Yeah, because this goes into Picket Downs, right? It's right here. And then this is the circle.
Is this where you live at? Where do you live at?
If this is like the entrance to Picket Downs, then I live like.
Okay, so here's there's blinking lights right here. So people don't run up at his house. I think that's what there's 2 red lights.
Oh yeah, that's on the dude's fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's those 2 yellow arrow blinking ones at the corner.
The corner.
So these are blinking lights here. All right. So then where do you and Cody meet?
Like way down this road. Like further past on that road.
So past. Does this dead end anywhere?
I don't think so. I think it literally
goes into Bithlow, I think.
Goes into Bithlow, and then if you keep going it, which was the way that I inevitably took it, where it'll dump you out onto 50, and then I came up 50 to go back to the Publix parking lot.
So here are the blinking lights. How far down do you think you met? Half mile, mile?
I mean, a significant ways. I mean,
just an approximate.
I mean, I would say it was probably over a mile.
Is this somewhere you and him have met before?
We know, where if you're on this road, the intersection where it's like it intersects with another road and then it's got like a guardrail or something like that right there. Mm-hmm. It was still past that area, but it was close to that intersection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it in the roadway, like off the roadway,
or in? Just off the road.
Just off the road.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I can't even.
It's back there in the country.
The detectives later get Grant to admit that he never met Cody down the road. The detective asks if it was somewhere they had met before, and Grant redirects, not answering his question, but just adding further details to the location he's claiming they met. This is the sign of a good liar. They don't answer your questions, but instead add more details as they go to their story to make it seem more credible, especially if you're questioning it. The detective plays along to keep Grant calm, even though he knows it's a lie. Grant then motions with his arm and says it's way out in the country. This is an attempt by Grant to get the detectives to stop inquiring about this topic because it's all the way out there. So you wouldn't know about it, but trust me, that's where we met.
So you and Cody meet.
Right.
And it's approximately what time? And I know I'm not holding you to the exact minute, but what time do you think you met?
Like 10:30.
10:30.
Or something like that.
How long did you talk to him for?
Only about 10 minutes or so.
And what was the conversation?
Conversation was basically that he was brought up to speed, and that he would take care of it.
He was brought up to speed by what?
He was brought up to speed on why I'm out here.
Who brought him up to speed?
My mom.
Oh, so she talked to him?
Yeah.
He told you that Mom had talked to him.
Right.
Since the argument or when?
Since I had left.
So you'd left the house approximately when?
I left the house at like. God, when did I leave the house?
Dark.
It was dark. It was after 9 p.m. but I just don't remember.
So between 9 and approximately 10:30,
right.
You leave.
Right.
Go down to sit on Fort Christmas. Cody comes and talks to you about 10 minutes. At some point, your mom has spoken to Cody based on what the conversation you had with him, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And she told him what had happened between you and your dad.
Right.
Okay.
Do you think that's why Cody left work?
I mean,
Did Cody say to you why he left work?
No, he never said why he left work, but in my mind, I was just thinking, oh, he had been let off work early like three times already this week. So I was just like
10-15 minutes. You talk to Cody.
Right.
What's he driving?
He drives a 97 Honda Accord.
Notice here the detective asks what Cody was driving at the time, and Grant answers it as a general question, listing off Cody's year, make, and model. This is likely because Grant knows Cody didn't drive to meet him that night, so his subconscious is buffering by answering generally instead of specifically. This is another sign of somebody who's not being completely truthful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a conversation, and he leaves to go home.
Right.
And you leave to go where?
And then I stay in that general area just so that if anything happens, somebody like knows where I am.
Okay. How long did you stay there?
I stayed there for, like a couple hours, I would say.
Just
that same area where you were talking about?
Like, I would go, like, kind of just up and down that road a little bit, just at my cars and just, like, sitting there. Mm-hmm. But for the most, I was staying in that general area, and then I decided to go
to Publix?
Publix.
Which was about what time?
Like, between, like, midnight and 1, I think. Yeah.
And you go to Publix midnight 1, and how long did you stay there till?
I stayed there until, like, 7, I think, in the morning. Well, as best as I could, yeah.
Right.
I
never comfortable sleep in the car.
Where did you park at? Do you know?
It's like on the side of it where, like, there's the back end of Publix where, like, all the shipments and stuff come in, and then you go around that corner, and then there's that line
on the Publix end of it, or the Tractor Farm Supply end?
Publix end.
So there's some parking there around that side.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. I used to live in that area. There's a side parking.
Right.
As you come up forward, you make the left, you go in front of Publix. The ice cream place is out front.
Right.
But you're on the side of the building.
Right.
Did any deputies or anybody ever come by, or
no.
anybody that worked there?
Nobody.
Any delivery trucks?
I saw delivery trucks like in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah.
And 7:00-ish.
Between 7 and 7:30, yeah, I leave.
And go where?
And then I just drive over to where my interview.
And I'm sorry, I'm just not understanding. Where was that at?
Off Lee Vista.
Off Lee Vista. So how did you get there?
I just drove there.
Which way?
Your direction.
What roads did you use?
Colonial to 408, and then I got off on Goldenrod, the Goldenrod exit,
mm-hmm.
and then I took Goldenrod all the way down to the Lee Vista
mm-hmm.
road.
Make a right?
Right.
Going back towards 436?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an E-Pass?
I do.
You do. Okay. So your E-Pass would have probably hit you at the Dean Road, maybe?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a toll, if I'm not mistaken, at Goldenrod, is there?
No, there's not.
I don't think there's one.
Yeah.
So you work your way on surface roads all the way down Lee Vista and go. And what was the name of the company again? I'm sorry, I don't think we found it.
It's Accreta.
Accreta?
Yeah.
How do you think it's spelled?
Accereda.
Let me see if I can find it.
Or it's Accredo. It's one of those two. But if you type in that and then like scripts, it'll give you like the other name that the company has. Because then they were also just like bought from Cigna, so they're also called Cigna now.
Scripts like?
Yeah, like a doctor script. SCRIPTS. Express Scripts. That's the actual, I think, name of the infusion group. But they've kept their name Accreta or Accredo.
Accredo's.
Express Scripts.
Let's see. I saw them.
Why are you looking that
Does
up?
6272 Lee Vista Boulevard sound right?
Yes. Yeah, 62. Yeah, I remember it being 62.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my phone here real quick and see. I'm sorry, this is not good. look about right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Express Scripts, yeah.
So it's going to be 6272 Lee Vista Boulevard, and it's called Express Scripts there on their name. When I put it said Accredo Express Scripts. That's not right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went and had an interview with who?
I had an interview with the two managers, Erica and Terry.
Erica and Terry. Females or males?
Females.
Okay. Two females. What did Erica look like?
Erica is, I think, like maybe 30 or something like that, and she's got like blonde hair, like fake eyelashes, white, kind of just looks like young, standard, small build woman.
Okay. How about the other girl?
Terry is, I think, kind of into her 40s. She's got like auburn, straight hair, white again, and she was also just kind of like a standard, slim build person.
The detectives want descriptions of the interviewers because they will probably talk to them about how Grant was acting that morning, which the prosecution can use either way. If Grant seemed normal, the prosecution will say Grant has no remorse for killing his family and is a heartless person. If they say Grant was especially nervous, even for an interview, or was acting strange in any way, the prosecution can say that Grant was stressed because he had just killed his whole family.
Okay. What'd you wear to the interview?
I wore my suit. It's just like a Men's Warehouse gray suit.
Sure.
Like brown shoes.
Okay. And you said the interview was from what time to what time? And I'm sorry to repeat.
No. My interview was scheduled for 10 in the morning,
but you got there early.
Right, because I was told that I had to print out like my resumes and my other things, but then I wasn't able to the night before. Mm-hmm. So I had brought my Surface thinking that I could print it out earlier. So I got there at 9.
The detectives ask Grant the route he drove to get from Publix to his interview. They can follow the path Grant says he took and time it to see if it matches his timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe 8:45.
Where'd you print out that?
I actually didn't. I mean, they said that they couldn't, but they already had copies of it,
okay.
So I didn't have to worry about that.
So you had the interview and it started approximately what time?
Like 9:40.
9:40 and went to about when?
I think it was about an hour. So like 10:30, 10:40 or so.
They didn't offer you a job and said they may have something coming forward.
It seemed like promising, but then they said that they had one more person to interview on Tuesday or Wednesday of this coming week. Mm-hmm. So, but they said that I would hear something from them regardless, like Tuesday or Thursday.
I want to jump back just a second. When you left the house,
right?
What were you wearing?
When I left the house, I was just wearing like my like black pants, mm-hmm. and then just
jeans or just like workout pants kind of deal with it.
No, just like workout pants.
Workout pants, okay.
Yeah. And then I just had a black shirt on, and then was I wearing a jacket? And I think just like one of my sweaters or jackets or something.
And you changed where to go to the
in the parking lot at the place.
I suppose. Okay. You go to the interview, let's say you're there till maybe 11 o'clock.
Right.
Approximately. Where'd you go from there?
From there, I pretty much just drove around. I was thinking of, like, passing by the house, but I inevitably decided against it. And then I thought that I had to do, like, a skills checkoff for the same exact things, and I had switched into just, like, scrubs.
Okay.
But then that didn't end up needing to be done today, or on the same day.
Uh-huh.
And then I was pretty much just driving around. I ended up going to Waterford, or I had gone back to the Publix area at one point, mm-hmm. Because I wanted to see if I could get my phone service back. Mm-hmm. But then I was told that I'm not like a registered user.
Did you go to a phone store somewhere?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Verizon.
Where's
the Verizon, which is right there in the same place.
In the Publix Plaza.
Right. It's
like down by Tractor Farm Supply.
It's right next to the Zaxby's. It's where the family dentistry.
Oh yeah, they built a new building up there, didn't
right.
they? It's like a little strip 4 or 5 store there.
Yeah.
Okay, know exactly what you're talking about. Where you're turning to go to Corner Lakes Middle School.
Right.
Okay.
So
you went there and talked to somebody?
Yeah, I had tried to get my phone service back, and then
guy or girl?
It was a guy.
What did he look like?
He was a young guy, like maybe in his early 20s. He had black hair. I think he had like a goatee.
Okay. What time was that approximately?
I think that was the first place that I went to when I came back. So if I got out of there around 11, maybe like 12 or 12:30 or something like that in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
This is a third person the detectives can talk to about Grant's demeanor, and they can see if his timeline checks out at the same time, using the Verizon store camera footage.
I think.
Okay. Couldn't get the phone because why?
Because I was told that I wasn't a registered user, because it was under my dad's name
Sure.
and everything. And then I was told I was a registered user, and then that basically they can't do anything unless he gives the sign-off to me. Right.
The account holder has to approve of it.
Right, right.
Okay. Didn't work.
It didn't work.
And then you went where?
And then after that, I went back, and then I think I just sat in my car for a little while, because I was just thinking, okay, well, how am I going to do this with everything that just happened? And from there, that's where I think I decided that I was going to maybe drive by the house.
Did you go drive by?
I didn't drive by the house. I was starting to go there down that Fort Christmas road, and then I was just like, I'm not gonna do it, because as far as I know, it's like, you know, Dad's probably at work. I don't know if Cody works again today, and you know, just like with everything that had been happening.
When you drove down there?
Yeah.
See anything strange?
No, I had seen I had just seen like a couple of cars like pass by me, but
What do you mean cars?
like just standard, like just a little bit of traffic.
Okay.
But then apart from that, no, I mean nothing.
How close do you get to the house?
I mean like a couple miles.
Okay. You leave there and you go where?
And then after I choose not to do that, then I go.
Okay, firstly, Grant has been playing right into the detective's hand. Yes, tell them that you had the intention to go to your parents' house, conveniently the day after all 3 of your family members were killed. But you decided against it, even though you were within a few miles of the home. It doesn't seem like you thought about the rest of his alibi, because he's completely lost on what to say next.
I go back towards the Goldenrod Express Scripts area because I thought that I had to do the skills checkoff thing. So then I'm going back that whole like Goldenrod-y area.
Right.
I think I missed my exit, and then I had to get off at.
You go 408 again?
Yeah.
Expressway?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going back and forth on the 408.
Right.
Okay.
And then I missed the Goldenrod exit, and then I like don't even think to get off on Cimarron. So then I end up like needing to go off on Crystal Lake Drive, and then I connect up with 50, and then I just go all the way back to the Goldenrod Road.
Right.
But then I stop off and I see if there was like any email updates or anything like that, and then
check your email.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then there was nothing. So then I was like, oh crap, it's not like today.
But you've got to pay for things. You've got some money.
Right.
In your account.
Right.
You had Cody's card, right?
Right.
Do you still have your dad's card?
Yes.
Okay, you still have that. Okay. Do you use any of them?
I had used Cody's card to pay for one of my bills that was outstanding. It was just one of those from that site. It was just like a bill that had backed up from there. $5.99.99.
Okay.
Cody
know you were doing that?
Yeah.
He said it's okay to do that?
He said to use this to like survive until things can get figured out. Because he knows that I only have, you know, a few $100s to my name.
He told you that night that you
Right.
could use his card and pay off what needed to be paid off?
He said to use it for like necessities.
Use it for necessities does not mean spend $600 on the cam model site. Grant takes so much advantage of his brother, and his brother keeps paying for him. Cody's paid for his rehab, $15 grand. His lawyer, $8 grand. And he inadvertently paid up to $60,000 to this cam girl. Absolutely revolting that Grant could murder someone who loved him so much and helped him so much. That's the ultimate betrayal.
Did he give it to you?
Yes.
He gave it to you, so here, take this and just do
Yes.
whatever. But that was normal for him, though. He was,
because he had
for the most
always...
part, he was footing most of your bills.
Right,
at the time.
right.
Okay.
So then after the realization that I didn't have to do any skills checkoff, then after that, then after that, that's where I go to Waterford. And then at Waterford...
Do you stop anywhere over there?
I go into Panera, because I think that I'm going to get something to eat.
About what time?
This was like right before I went to the hotel, so it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe.
Okay.
And then in there, you know, I think about getting something to eat, but then I don't really want to use like the other cards to pay for something, and then I know that I only have a little bit, but then I'm going to have to, like, sleep somewhere. And again, I'm trying to use, like, my money for that type of stuff.
Trying to
so then I'm only in Panera for, like, 10 minutes or something like that. And then I end up leaving from there, and then that's where I go to the DoubleTree, and then that's where I checked in. And then I was at the DoubleTree all night.
Did you go anywhere? Leave?
I only came out of the DoubleTree to, I think, get, like, a water bottle out of my car and to get, like, to get my, like, my razor out just in case I needed to shave or something like that.
In your room. What's in your room back at the DoubleTree?
At the DoubleTree, it's my leather, like, just shoulder bag. And then it has my other small leather shoulder bag, I guess you could call it, but it's like it's like a satchel.
Okay. What's in it? What's in this bag?
In the satchel, it's just got some batteries, some protein bars, just some like ration type food, and then in my big carry, it's got just like some clothes, standard clothes. It had my, like, all the electronic chargers and whatnot that I could get, just kind of like grabbing and putting in there. And then it has my Surface, my cell phone, and my iPad.
Yeah.
And then it's got, like, some like, bills, like some previous bills.
Does your cell phone have a lock on it?
Yes.
What's the lock?
2112.
2112 for the lock on the cell phone. How about the iPad?
The iPad, I don't know. I never turned it on.
Oh, you've never even used it?
No. I've used it before, but I never turned it on since I got it back. Because my dad was like keeping all of that stuff like blocked and put it somewhere. Yeah.
Slept there last night? Talked to anybody?
I messaged the girl that I'd been talking to on Twitter.
Yeah. On Twitter, so you have to pay for it.
Right.
Did she respond back to you?
I think once, like 1 or 2 responses.
What's your Twitter address? I'm sorry, I'm not a Twitter person.
No, it's just Grant A. It's just what it is.
It's just Grant A.
With a space.
Grant space A.
I think if you type in Grant space A, it'll like pull up my picture.
Okay.
But it's like one of those Grant space A 8495000. Yeah, it's got like 9 numbers after.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a Twitter person. I don't know that much about it. Sorry, when you get at our age, sometimes some of these things have passed you by. And
that's fine.
I appreciate you explaining to me.
So the Surface and iPad have no passwords?
The Surface, my computer has a password, but it's, again, the PIN is just 2112.
You're just using a home address.
Yeah.
Something easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but with the iPad, I don't know if it has a password on it, because I never turned that on again once I got it back.
Okay. So, you stay there and wake up this morning.
Right.
Nobody else in the room?
Nobody else in the room.
Rented in your name?
Rented in my name.
Okay. You come out and do what? You come out of the room today to go where? Where are you going?
I was going to go down because I had like 1 more bottle of water in my car, and I had just finished eating like just a little granola bar thing, so I was like, I'm just going to go down and get my bottle of water.
And you found what when you come outside?
All the police officers were there, yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, do you know if there was a password on the iPad prior to your dad taking it?
Yeah,
but it was just... they were always like 2112.
Okay,
was
so everything was the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, we got a better map, just to...
Okay.
And I can't see that.
Okay.
I'm blind.
Like Mills, okay. We've marked off there just for ease, and it's not, there's your house.
Okay.
Here's the guy with the fence with the lights there.
Right.
And you went down Fort Christmas going into Orange County.
Right.
And I would suspect this is about somewhere around a mile, give or take, from your development entrance.
Do you remember a cross street or anything that it was near?
I don't know if it's on here.
Yeah, easy for you.
Because it would be a road that's like coming in this direction, where it's like...
side road or like somebody's private road?
No, it's like a side road. It's like a road that inevitably collects back up with 417. And it's like it's got...
50? I think what you're saying, that road, it should come back to 50, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's a split where it splits off, and if you go left, it'll wind up to 50.
It was before that. Yeah, it was before that split, where if you take that...
You know what I'm talking about.
But it was before that. It's where there's another road that's intersecting that has like a metal guardrail, like a long metal guardrail. and it's just like a little, I don't know, I can't really describe it. It's like it should be a road that's coming in from this direction. I just have no idea. I mean, unless it's like one of these that's just like right off the map or something like that.
Okay, here is, I think this goes back out, if I'm not mistaken, goes back out to where? Lake Pickett. Lake Pickett Road goes all the way from Percival. It comes out and crosses Trulia Road 419. It goes back through some developments, some new developments, winds its way around, and kind of looks like that. Does that look about right? Fort Christmas, before that road comes in, it's a good road.
Yeah.
There's a stop sign that way, so probably you think right around there before you get back into the actual Bithlow proper area.
Yeah.
Could that have been it? Like right around,
yeah,
right around here.
It was close to
that.
that.
Was there a church right there? The Catholic Diocese of Orlando has got some property there.
No, I mean all that I can remember is just like
because right
the
here,
fields and all that.
Because
stuff.
right here, I know it's kind of hard to see, is where you live at.
Right.
Is right. I think right there.
Yeah.
Salton's right there.
So then, yeah.
That other road comes down. You say where the lights are down that way, and the only real road that comes down and goes back to the east will be that right there. So it's probably that.
Yeah, I did not know.
But it looks like a decent sized road. It wasn't just like a little driveway or somebody's private road.
And then it winds through.
So it'd be Lake Pickett.
Lake Pickett.
Highway, what's it, 420? 420. So somewhere in that intersection.
Somewhere, yeah. Better.
The detectives print out another map for Grant to show exactly where he was when he met Cody. They are locking him into a location while simultaneously stressing him out. The fact that they keep coming back to this issue should be a red flag for Grant, but he's so stressed out from trying to get them to believe him that he becomes overly cooperative, agreeing with the location the officer says it must be.
And then, when you left Cody, what did he say he was going to go do?
Cody said that he will take care of it.
Take care of what?
Just the situation that was at hand.
This man is really out here trying to shift the focus to Cody. Cody said he would take care of things. I don't know what he means by that. As if Cody went and killed your dad, mom, and then himself. Yeah, right.
With whatever he had been updated with from my mom.
Did he tell you what he was updated?
He had told me the reason why, like, I'd been kicked out. But he really didn't give me that much dialogue, like, about that situation. You know, he was miffed a little bit because, you know, he had just gotten off work and now he has to go deal with this. And then after that, I mean, it was just, he gave me the debit card to say, you know, to use this in case of emergencies. And then, I mean, that was pretty much it because I don't know if, like, he had already said that he was on his way home or if there were expectations, like, for a time with him for making it home.
But what was your demeanor? Like, what did Cody see you as? Like, were you
like scared?
Upset?
Yeah, so I was scared because, I mean, like I said, it's the first time that I had been out of the house, you know.
So you were scared of what? Being on your own?
Right.
Or did your father say or do anything to scare you?
He had threatened me that if I stepped foot back on his property, not the house, but if I stepped foot back on his property, that he would kill me. And, like, he
said those specific words?
Yes.
Did you tell that to Cody? That your father told you that?
No, I didn't.
So you're afraid of him?
Oh, yeah.
You are actually afraid that he could kill you.
Yeah, and it's also because, like, in the past, like, 2 weeks before I got kicked out, my dad was going through, like, a lot of episodes where he was losing his temper a lot, yelling a lot, especially when me and Cody weren't at the house. And,
who's he yelling at?
My mom.
So was he being violent to your mom?
Yeah, like, I think...
Physically or just emotionally?
Both.
Put his hands on her.
He had bruised her left arm by grabbing it. And then apparently she had said that on one of the nights that they were in the kitchen together, and then he was like throwing food at her and then banged her head against the wall a couple times.
So, and I'm not, let me speak bad of your dad, but he's kind of a violent guy.
Yeah, I mean... You
have a reason to be afraid of him.
And then the thing that I was getting to was that apparently my mom was so scared at one point, because it had been a while since he had been like this, that she had taken like a couple or a number of voice memos on her phone whenever he would like come in and then start, like she knew that, you know, something like he was going to start to get upset. And that on multiple occasions, he had told her that he had told her that basically if I fuck up, sorry for the language, but if I screw up, he's going to kill me, and then he's going to kill her.
He said those specific
because
words.
he blames everything that happens negatively with me and with Jason, not with Cody, but with me and Jason on her, because we're her favorites.
So you have a reasonable belief in your mind that your dad could hurt you.
Yes.
He could hurt your mom.
Yes.
He could maybe hurt Jason.
Yes.
He's a violent guy. I'm sorry, I've been this a long time. He sounds like a violent guy.
Yeah.
Quick to lose his temper with you over minuscule stuff.
Minuscule stuff, yeah.
I get the point he's upset about the amount of money. I do get that.
Right.
But physically, he's abusive.
Yes.
And it's kind of embarrassing as you're an adult male right now. He's been abusive of you for years, has he not?
Yeah. I mean, more mentally over the course.
But it has been to the point where you as a 29-year-old male, right, 29?
29.
That you're afraid that your father could kill you.
Yeah.
The detective continues on trash-talking Grant's dad. This allows Grant to feel like he's being understood, and it also sets up the idea in Grant's head that his dad was violent, and so he killed him out of fear. I have a feeling the detective is going to use this later when confronting Grant about killing his dad. He's probably going to say something like, "Your dad was violent and threatened to kill you. It was self-defense."
And I mean, again, it's like, you know, at the house, I mean, I have, like, no access to anything. So, I mean, it's literally just like me, and, you know, I told you.
Access to anything, you mean what?
Like, you know, anything to defend myself. You know, like, I
the guns in
sold
the house?
all my guns.
You sold it. Does Cody have guns in the house?
He does, but they're, like, locked up somewhere.
Dad have guns in the house?
Again, yeah, but they're locked up somewhere.
And you don't have access to them?
I don't even have a house key. I don't have a house key. I don't have any keys to the doors inside the house. All I had was my car key. That's all that he gave me.
And that night when you argued with your father and he said he grabbed your shirt and pulled you off the couch, did he do anything else to you physically?
No. No, he didn't, like, pursue it anymore. He was just...
Did you tell Cody that he acted that way towards you?
No, I didn't.
Cody had no idea that there was a heated, physical, just the argument that you needed to get out because you were talking to this girl.
Right.
Go on, sis. Get him to admit that Cody would have no knowledge about the threats Grant said his dad made, or the fact that his dad got physical with him. This will help the prosecution show there was no motive for Cody to kill his parents and then himself.
We've come and talked to you.
Okay.
You rode up here voluntarily with us to talk to us. Why do you think we're having this conversation?
I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty freaked out at this point because, you know, it's, I mean, I know, like, how the situation was when I left, and, you know, I thought that it was weird to begin with that I hadn't gotten any communication whatsoever. I mean, like I had told you, my brother, Cody, the last time when I was away from the house, that he was the one who outreached to me via email. Because, again, I didn't have my phone or anything like that. So, I mean, I thought that it was weird, but I had just been kind of putting it out of my mind, thinking, okay, you had to go to work, or they're busy, or something.
When you were in your room, the hotel room, hanging out, watching TV? No,
I didn't turn on the TV. I had on just, like, music in the background, just to kind of help me go to sleep.
Are you sure about that? Because the hotel, it's weird, and I didn't know this. I used to travel a lot for work. They can tell, because of the TV, every channel you've been on when the TV gets turned off. Because I guess they have a problem. Yeah, I guess they have a problem with people stealing from that.
Oh, wow.
So those things are well monitored, even though it looks like a cheap generic TV.
I never even touched the TV remote. I didn't turn on that TV at all. I was just using my service to, like, watch YouTube initially, and then
you were using the surface to check things.
Right.
So there'll be a history of everywhere you went on it.
Right, yeah.
Okay. As a child, we're told the truth always is the best thing to do, correct?
Correct.
You agree with it?
Yeah.
And accidents happen, and things in the heat of the moment, things happen that we wish hadn't happened. But I do it myself sometimes. My kids will make me so aggravated, I'll snap at them and then walk away and say, wow, I wish I would not have done that. That was not very adult of me to snap at my child for something. Yes, they're wrong, but I should be the adult and not snap at them.
Right.
Tell me what you think, because I can tell I've done this for a long, long time, and I read people, the way they act, and the way they talk to me, and the way they answer questions. There's something you want to tell us. I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your body language, and just the way you act. Now's the time. Now's the time. If there's something you want to get off your chest and give us an explanation of what's bothering you, now is the exact time to do it. And I'm giving you that opportunity right now to tell me something you want to get off your chest. It's there. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your eyes.
Kept out about that night.
You're upset about it. You've been that since we've talked to you. I can see there's something been bothering you. Even though I don't know you from Adam's house, can't you see things in people that something's really bothering this guy? It's not that, I spent a bunch of money I shouldn't have on this girl. So be it. You did. It's over with. Money can be made back. Something's bothering you.
I'm just worried about what is all transpiring from this.
I think at this point right now, to be honest with you, Grant, you know what it is. It's in your eyes. Your eyes is the view to your soul, and it's in your eyes. And it sounds stupid, and people don't believe it. Like I told you out there in the car, did I not tell you? You may not like what I say, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth every time, because I can walk in front of anybody in God and say, I don't care, I told him the truth.
And we usually know answers before we ask it.
Right.
Me and Eva knew everything before we asked you the questions. Now's the time to come to Jesus, be honest, because you're holding something back. I can see it in your eyes. People don't believe that the police will help you, but we are actually here to help you with issues you may have. I think something happened, and you don't want to tell us, but right now is the time to get it off your chest. And I really wish you would, because it will make you feel better in the end.
Grant has not yet asked why he's here. That's extremely strange. He's been talking to them for hours, and yet, no question. This is the point where the detectives use the tactic of asking Grant why he thinks he's here. Grant does what he said he did to his dad. He doesn't fess up, and he just plays the part. The officer says, I can see it in your eyes, and this makes it indefensible. There's nothing Grant can do to argue with what the detective is saying, because it's perception. The detective goes on about honesty, and the other detective pipes in, saying they know the answers before they ask. Basically, we know everything, so just confess. We're here to help you.
I genuinely don't have anything else that I can say about the night or, the periods of time afterwards.
There's only one opportunity to make that good impression. And if we've done something we shouldn't have done, you fess up there. You caught your hand in a cookie jar, you do it. Now,
is there anything else that happened at the house that you didn't tell us, that you've left out, or we haven't asked you, that would be of importance? Or during the time that you drove around for those few hours? Did you ever really go back to the house that you haven't told us about?
Something that happened that caused you to defend yourself.
No, because again, it's like I didn't have any means to defend myself. I mean, I didn't.
Well, we know from talking to that there's weapons in the house.
Right.
We know that to be a fact. Something happened that caused you to defend yourself. Whether you had anything or not, you found something to defend yourself with. I can't tell you everything. I'm not going to tell you everything. But something happened. Whether your dad blew up on you, threatened you, physically harmed you, or hurt you, something happened that caused an altercation.
And I didn't do anything at the house besides get my stuff together and take it out to my car. And that's, I didn't, besides that one thing that I told you guys where I was going down the road to come back maybe, besides that, I didn't.
You saw nothing that was out of the ordinary?
No.
In the Fort Christmas area or 419 area?
No,
Did you even get up to the Lake Mills Fort Christmas area where that guy's blinking lights are?
No. When I came back, I didn't come up to there.
There is, and you're better at electronics than I am. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that. There's a digital footprint, and there's ways to see things that we know that don't make sense. even though your phone may not have service, there's still issues with the phone.
Right.
And it was on you the entire time
Yeah.
when you left the house
Yeah.
until you were in touch with law enforcement.
Right.
Oh, yes, admit that your phone was on you the whole time, so that way your GPS coordinates are accurate and can be used against you.
I can track places you've been, and I know where you have been, and I know what time you've been there. And what everything you're telling me isn't just copacetic and doesn't add up. Because there's what I think, what you think, what she thinks, and there's things that are hard facts that you can't manipulate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think something happened at the house based on my knowledge right now, and you're afraid to say it. You're afraid to come back and say that I was a victim, I was hurt, I had something that happened there that I don't want you to tell because it's something maybe embarrassing or not good, but I know a lot more than I can let on right now. And things you're not telling me, I can't help you if you won't let me help you.
So where's the missing piece? What have we missed here?
I mean, when I had come back that other time, I crossed in front of the dude's fence, the red blinking lights ones.
What time was that?
I can't remember.
That was Friday during the day when you said you were going to come back.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But it was after you did your interview.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you did that, you would have seen something, and there would be something out of the ordinary that you would have seen. If you passed that, you passed something out of the ordinary. What was it?
I saw like a news van, and then I don't think there might have been like a cop car. There was like traffic being
Human nature. Human nature. What do people do when I go back to my old neighborhoods? And I've lived a couple of places in Central Florida in the 23 years I've been here. I see something major going on. I get on my phone or I get on my computer. I look. I wonder what was happening by my neighborhood, and look.
Did that even spark your attention?
There's a digital footprint of where I went on my phone. This right here phone, they can tell me I looked at these maps on my phone because it's on there.
Right.
The memory's there. You can't delete it. You can't. You came back to the neighborhood. You saw some things that are really out of the ordinary.
Right.
And I don't believe for a second that you thought that I'm not going to look what's going on. What happened to my neighborhood?
I mean, I didn't search it up on anything on any of the devices that I have.
Did you search it somewhere else?
At
Remember, like I said, I know things that you don't know, and honesty will get you all the things I can do for you. To be honest, I can't deal with someone who lies to me,
right.
but I'll deal with someone and help them till the end, no matter what. Believe it or not, that's just me, and she'll tell you. It's what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say if I can do something that can help you, I'm going to help you, because every one of us make mistakes and do things we shouldn't have done in the heat of the moment to protect ourselves or to protect somebody else. It happens. I know you've searched for something. I know something. I can't tell you exactly, but you said won't you tell me, and I'll tell you if you're being truthful. What'd you search?
On when I had gone to the Panera, I searched for like top stories, Oviedo or Chuliote or something like that.
Now they've caught him in a lie. He admits to being extremely close to his neighborhood and seeing a news crew and a police car. This is where they use the tactic of everyone makes mistakes, and sometimes it's just better to fess up to those mistakes. And it works slightly. Grant does admit that he looked up news on his family's death. Suspects are often more willing to confess to smaller things that they've done or smaller lies that they've said because they think it will make them seem more honest to the detectives, but just gives the detectives more ammunition against them.
Found what?
And then I saw that there was, it was like just the initial, like it had like a video, but I didn't listen to the video, but it had just an initial thing of that there was shootings in Salton Circle, but it didn't say like the address or who was involved. It was just like this is the preliminary.
Was that on one of the news stations?
What
was the site you searched?
I honestly can't remember.
I
think it was one of the Weshes, but.
And you saw the story because we've seen the same stories. You've seen the story because there's a thing that will tell me how long of the time you spent on that.
Right.
You saw what happened.
Yeah, I was on there for like 20 seconds.
And what was your thoughts when you reviewed this story?
I was freaking out, and I was just like blank. I didn't know what to do.
Now's the time. Now is the time.
So what do you think
To
happened?
be honest.
I think that there was something that obviously happened at the house.
Tell me what happened.
I don't know what happened.
I know better. Listen to me. I know better. I can help you, Grant, with honesty. I can help you with honesty.
We think something else happened before you left the home that you're either afraid of or embarrassed to talk about. But we need to know exactly what happened because, like Danny said, we can place you there at certain times. And so we need to know what happened before you left that house because you didn't leave with everything being okay.
I honestly, I don't have anything else that I can really say. I mean, I don't know.
Do you even know why law enforcement got involved? Like what brought us to that home?
No,
You just said it. You know something bad happened there. Out of your voice, not mine. I have not told you anything what's happened there. Something bad happened. You're here with us for a couple hours. You admit that you've looked at a site and seen something bad happen because the video is not of just a general area. It's of a specific location, correct?
Yeah, I saw like a driveway or something.
Whose driveway did you see?
I don't know. I saw like there was like a gate. There was a gate, and then I saw like that there was like 2 cars, but then I didn't see anything past that.
Okay.
Well, is that driveway and gate your home?
I
honestly did not fixate on it for like a long period of time. I saw like the one with an actual like gate.
You've been here with us. You think something bad has happened at your house, and to date, so long you haven't even asked us about anybody.
Well, that's because for the last time that I was arrested, I mean, like nobody would tell me anything.
Once you start telling me something that's truthful that I know, then we're going to have a conversation of exactly what happened.
I mean, you're a smart guy. You know something's happened at your home. You have law enforcement here. You haven't heard or gotten any emails from your family.
I'm just scared as to what the answer is.
Well, you need to help yourself by filling in the blanks of what happened that night so we can give you the answer.
You need to help yourself by filling in the blanks so we can tell you the answer. So confess and we will make sure it's accurate and confront you on any falsities? Gotcha.
Did anything more happen with you and your father besides him grabbing you up from the couch and yelling at you and kicking you out? Anything at all? Did he harm you, hit you?
No.
Draw any weapons on you?
No, he didn't do anything like that. I mean, he was just yelling.
This is the time to come to Jesus, to be honest, because you know more. I'm looking in your eyes. Your eyes tell me exactly that you are hurting inside. I get it, brother. I get it. You're hurting.
And this is the only time we can help you.
Because once we get to a certain point, there's nothing I can do. It's in the hands of who has it. Nothing I can do. Honesty is always the best policy. You get caught stealing a car, you admit to it, I did it, how can I get help? What can be done to help me? And let me tell you the rest of my story. You're holding back.
And if something happened that you were defending yourself, then we need to know that. If you were protecting yourself because you were in fear, then that makes sense. But we need to know exactly what happened for you to protect yourself.
You can't minimize this. Once, a wise man told me one time, once a bomb goes off, you can't defuse it. You can't. That's already out there. Now is the point to say, how do I put Band-Aids on myself to minimize the injuries I have? And we're giving you that opportunity. I want to give you that opportunity. I don't think you're a bad guy at all. I really don't. I think you're going through a very stressful and emotional time right now with being out of work and just dealing with all the problems with the arrest. You're probably not used to depending on somebody to pay all your bills. So now you have to do mom and dad or have to give you money. Cody's having to give you money. And there's a significant debt to people. $200,000, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, mortgage, yeah, I get it, or something like that, or a medical bill for my child, yeah, I get it. But talking to some girl, in Bulgaria, you hit it right on the head. You were embarrassed about it, and you have nothing to be embarrassed about.
And
that.
you said you had a connection with her.
Sure.
And
here it is, man. I want to help you. She want to help you. You gotta come to me with the truth now, because I already know the truth. I do. Here's the chance. You can shake your head no and say I don't know. You do know, and I know you know. She knows. She knows you know.
There's a reason you didn't go back to the house. There's a reason why you haven't tried to reach out. I mean, it's odd you haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's words that, like, I can't think of to even say. But I'm assuming that, when you see that there is a shooting somewhere it has to do with my family.
Your family has no known enemies. Nobody has a problem with them. Nobody.
Right.
Continue what you were saying. You said when you
But I mean, that's like I don't. Like I don't know how to even say the words.
Well, give me a roundabout what you're thinking.
That somebody in my family's dead.
And how does that make you feel if you're thinking that?
I have absolutely no ability to comprehend the words, because, like I said, I've been there for my whole entire life, and even though there's been struggles and everything like that, there hasn't ever been any issues.
There's never been the struggles or the issues like happened Thursday. Never for you. I believe you 100%. I believe it's never been like that. But something happened Thursday unlike anything you've ever experienced in 29 years of your life. Never.
And maybe you felt that was rock bottom for you. You were getting kicked out of the house. Your father gave you an ultimatum. I mean, that's, you're already dealing with the debt, and, now you have to stop talking to this girl, and now you're being kicked out of the home. I mean, I can understand how you would feel. I mean, that you'd want to lash out, or, if something happened, you'd want to defend yourself.
Sure. Absolutely.
But we need to know what happened.
I mean, I can tell that you guys are, like, leading me into a certain way of what...
The only thing we're leading you to is wanting to get the truth from you. Not trying to make you say something that's not true, that's not accurate. The truth, the end. That's it. That's all we want is the absolute truth. Because it's got to come from you. It can't come from us. It can't come from us. Do we know what happened? Yeah, we already know what happened. But it has to still come from you, the truth. Because the parties involved, that's, in all cases, you want the truth from them. I don't want somebody to say something that's not true. Absolutely not. I want them to say, this is what happened, and here's why it happened. Because sometimes there are things that are justifiable. I'm dealing with a case right now where some people were jumped in a house, there was a shooting, and the people involved in the shooting are not going to be charged because they have the right to defend themselves. Nothing in the state or federal law says you have to be seriously physically harmed or killed. Nothing does. You have the right to defend yourself. Absolutely, you have the right to defend yourself.
If you're in fear of
Sure.
you being hurt or your life.
But, Grant, I just need you to come. It's there. It's there. I can see it. It's on the tip of your tongue. You want to say, let me tell you what happened. I'm being honest. I think you're being honest about 95% of the story. I truly do believe you're being honest about that. I think there's that 5% as most people, because they're afraid to actually talk to us and tell us their story. And sometimes we can help justify their story once they tell us the truth. It's a fact. It happens that people are afraid to tell things. They're afraid, I'm going to get, you're not going to believe me, you're not going to like me, you're going to think bad of me. It's not the case at all. I have no opinion one way or the other. I don't know you. I don't think bad of you. I just don't know you. If you're a friend, I would think different of you, or somebody I know with something else, or I had previous dealings, yeah, I may have an opinion, but I don't have an opinion of you. I just don't, because we don't know each other. We've never contacted each other, have we?
No.
So there's no reason for me, but I've been honest with you the entire time, and I will continue to be honest with you till the remainder of my career at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. I'll always be honest with you. Call me and say, hey, this is. I'm going to tell you. Again, you may not like it, but I'm going to tell you. That's just me. And some people don't do that, and some people will tell you things that are misleading. I'm not going to tell you anything that's misleading, because that's my word. That's my integrity. That's my character. Now's the time, my friend. I want to help you. She wants to help you. And I'm telling you, I'm going to help you. Anything I can do within my power to be honest with you. I'm going to. That's it. But I got to have the truth from you. I can't get it from somebody else. I can't get it from her. I can't get it from other people I work with. It's got to come from you. I already know. I'm telling you, I already know. I got a couple more years. I'll retire. I'm going to take my career with me and be happy with what I've done because I've been honest with everybody. I'm asking you to be honest with me too. I want to help you.
I mean, apart from the times maybe being wrong, I genuinely don't have anything else that I can say about what transpired during the nighttime.
There are several tactics used in this segment. First, the detectives tell Grant they could understand why he would lash out, but he confronts them on this, so the male detective denies and redirects to the fact that he is honest and doesn't mislead anyone, not giving Grant the chance to continue thinking, as he hops right onto the next tactic, which is relating this case to another one that was justifiable. He's hoping he can get Grant to admit that he was defending himself, using the ploy of them being able to justify it. He then goes on to the next tactic, relating Grant to other people who also didn't want to tell the whole truth. Killers often feel misunderstood, so the detective is trying to let Grant see he is not alone. The detective makes a big deal about how honest he is, and that he needs it in return. This does get Grant to admit that he lied earlier. Also, as Grant says he was only lying about the timeline, the detective shakes his head no in disbelief. Grant has been staring intently at whichever detective is talking at the time, but never mirrors their behavior. He's staring because he wants them to believe his versions of events, and he's watching to see if they do.
So when you left your house, everybody was fine.
Yeah.
And when you left Cody,
everything was fine.
Well, we got called to the house because Cody didn't show up to work. So law enforcement goes over there, and can you tell us what we found? What do you think we found when law enforcement arrived at your home?
I mean, you guys are talking about guns and you're talking about other things that and then the website and everything, that something happened to him.
Who's him?
Cody.
Did you do anything to Cody?
No.
Did you do anything to your mother?
No.
Did you do anything to your father?
No.
You have any reason to believe that anybody else would harm them?
No, the only thing that I was told was that Cody would take care of it for me. And that's all that I know.
But you didn't tell Cody what your father said to you, correct?
Correct.
So when Cody made those comments to you, what do you believe he meant by that? Have you guys ever talked about?
That he was gonna, I thought he was just gonna do what he always does, which is where he just talks about it and he figures out whatever strategy he needs to.
So if anything happened in the home to bring law enforcement there, what would you think happened?
That there was a shooting.
Between whom?
I don't know. Between Cody and my dad.
And why would you think that?
To protect me, or to help me, or to do something with me.
So you're telling me you did not shoot Cody,
No.
your father, or your mother?
No. I mean, I don't know, like, what more I can say.
Well, when law enforcement arrived That's what they found. So you're the only outstanding child. You're the one that's been having problems with your dad. You're the one that we haven't been able to find for 2 days. Do you understand now why we would be questioning you about this?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be saying like all like I don't know the way to. I don't know like what to even say.
We're trying to see if there's anything else that you've left out during the night from when you first came home and confronted your father, or when he confronted you until the time you left, that you've not told us.
There was nothing. There was nothing to that level of confrontation between him and I.
So if anything happened in the home, you believe it would be Cody and him?
Yes. Because I don't have access to anything.
Well, I can tell you from what we read right now, because you know what the news has said, correct? You know what the news has said.
I only know that first story that I saw, and then I didn't look again.
And what did the first story say?
That there was a shooting in the Salton Circle area, and the investigation is ongoing.
Okay, and what did they say? They say the status of the people inside the house? What
No.
did they say? Because all the news have reported the same thing. Every one of them. The sheriff has held a press conference. The sheriff has provided information to the media.
And it's known what has happened in the home.
All that I saw was literally like the paragraph, and then the last sentence was there's an investigation ongoing, and then I didn't.
You saw more because at Panera, when you said you pulled it up, they had more information then. They had more information than just there's been a shooting. There's a lot more information was given. It was all over the news by that time. The noon news reported exactly what had happened. We know that Cody didn't shoot your dad. We know Cody didn't shoot your mom. We know Cody didn't shoot himself.
The detective gives a long period of silence to try and get an answer, and then re-asks the question. This gets Grant to finally say he thinks Cody is dead, and then he blames Cody again. Oh, he said he was going to take care of it. They ask him what he thinks happened again, and Grant says he thinks that Cody shot his dad to protect him. This is clearly his defense. Cody took care of me, and Cody did this because he was mad that my parents did this. But the physical evidence doesn't point to that conclusion. So of course this defense is not going to work.
There's something.
And you still haven't asked us the condition of them or anything.
That's because I don't know what the normal proceedings are, but The
normal proceedings are for you to be honest about what happened.
And then we help you understand everything that's going to go on from here on out, of what our responsibilities are.
And we don't believe you're being honest. We feel that you are leaving something out about what happened in that home. And the evidence tells us what happened in the home. But you need to fill in the blanks.
Here's my hand for honesty. Here it is. We're here to help you through this, and you're not going to like something here in just a minute, and I know it's going to hurt you, but you're leaving things out. You've got to take that step and cross over and say, okay, I have to tell you. You'd probably rather tell us what happened before Eva opens that up. You probably want to tell us and save yourself some grief by saying, here, let me tell you. Here's what happened that night that I wasn't completely honest about. Because honestly, Grant, I believe you've been honest about a very lot of things. I really do. Because I can account for your day. I can account for your night. We have a couple very small holes. 95% of the story I already know. That's why you're here with us.
And again, your cell phone's going to put you in the areas. We're going to check exactly where you were throughout the entire time you started this conversation.
No.
So if you went back to the house and did something, or how long you were there, we're going to know.
No, I never did anything like that.
Just things like, look, remember I saw my digital footprint?
Yeah.
Your e-pass tells me where you went. We have a thing they're called LPRs, license plate readers, in different places all over everywhere. And every time your car passes, or any car, I have somebody, one of our Intel girls, put in, or guys put in the thing, hey, has this tag went by there? Yep. Has it been in a certain place? Yep. It tells me exactly where you went. Man, I'm telling you. I know it's hard to trust the police. I know people don't trust the police. You got to give me the chance to trust me. You have to. I already know. I know what happened. I know. 95% of the story, I know what happened. And so do you. And it's in your face, it's in your emotions, it's in your body language that something is severely, from the minute I met you in the hotel, severely bothering you. And you knew why we were there the minute we came to see you. You knew why we were there. You knew it. And you knew what I was going to tell you at some point during the course of the day, what was going to happen. You already know, because you checked on it. I know you've checked on it. There's a way to tell. I said that the best thing about the internet and electronics, they tell a story. And they tell how many times things have been looked at, what's been looked at, and how long you spent there. Sheriff can tell me every website I've ever been on this iPhone, every one, and how long I was there for. Every meme I made up to send to somebody, something funny as a joke, they can see it. I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to help you get through all this. I am an honest guy. I'm going to be honest. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to be honest to the very last day that I deal with you. And then when this investigation continues, I'll go on to the next person and be honest with them. But I got to have you step over that little bit of line. Basically, we got a line here. And you know, you're so close to wanting to step over that line. You have come all the way from the back side of that table over to here. And now you're right about right here that you want to do it, but you're scared. I get that, my man. I get you're scared. But something happened there that kicked us off, unlike anything that ever happened in your life, to get to where we are today. And I just need you to tell me exactly what happened. Here's your brother, the guy who's always looked out for you, correct? Paid for your trip to Japan, paid bills. Your dad and your brother have paid $200,000 of this video chat, whatever, with the virtual, not the virtual, but the girl in Bulgaria. Dad's pissed about the cost. I'm sure I'd be upset too. $200,000. Think of the car you can have for $200,000, or paid off college debt or whatever. Some girl in Bulgaria got basically your college debt. Now I'm sure your brother and dad may have been as happy if you take that $100,000 and paid off that program. But there's a lot of pressure on you. I get it. I need you to step over, man. You're right there. You're right there at the end, ready to go. We're ready to take the information from you and move forward. We're there. I just need you to take that last step over and say, all right, let me tell you what else. I've been honest about the vast majority of this, but let me tell you what actually happened that night. It's there.
When you're talking about the phones, because I'm illiterate when it comes to phones and Wi-Fi and all that. So you said when your dad cut off your phone a few days ago, you had no phone number, like no way to call, just pick up the phone and call someone, correct?
Right.
So when you would communicate on Twitter, like you said, either on your cell phone or your Surface, you would have to be connected to Wi-Fi, is that correct?
Right.
When you were in your home, were you connected to Wi-Fi?
No.
Talking to these, you know, when you did the Twitter and so on and so forth, were you connected to the Wi-Fi at your home?
Yes.
Both
no, wait. No, I wasn't. I was on the LTE. I was just on the cell service.
And you can still do the Twitter thing on cell service on
Right.
the LTE at home?
Right.
Okay. And then when you are at the Publix,
Right.
you're on what?
That's on Wi-Fi.
Publix is Wi-Fi?
Right.
Okay. And then you said the next time was at Panera?
Yes.
Was on the Wi-Fi? Both your cell phone and the Surface?
Just the Surface. I hadn't. At the Panera, it was just on the Surface.
Okay. All right, so again, with the whole digital footprint like Danny's talking about, you know that we will know exactly where you were at every time that you connected to Wi-Fi and how long you were connected to the Wi-Fi. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So when you drive away from the Publix or you're driving away from Panera, we will know all of that.
And every hot spot you hit along the way, it's going to ding. It's going to make that connection, even just for a brief second. And I'm very familiar with that area out there. I used to live out at 419 and 50, and I know just about where every hot spot is along the way. So it's going to be boom, 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 boom. I want to help you, man. I really do. But you've got to take that little step and trust that we are going to do everything that we can do. And be honest with you, we're going to do it. But I need you to step over. You have to, because what happens if you don't? You know, it's going to be something that we just can't do anything to deal with. We can't. Honestly, I've talked to people. I talked to a guy that was responsible for a lot of bad stuff in South America. And we sat down over the course of a month, and he finally admitted to some horrific things.
And felt a lot better about it, right?
Because he trusted us. Because he realized, the typical thing, the police, all they do is lie to you, or whatever. No, I'm not like that. I know she ain't either. I just want the truth. I want the truth to be told, no matter which way it is.
And you will feel so much better. We're talking about your family here. So you telling us anything that we're missing, you're going to feel a lot better by telling us the truth.
Guaranteed. It's hard to take that leap of faith. It is. It's like jumping out of an airplane with a parachute. Yeah, if the parachute works the way it's supposed to, it's going to be okay. But the first time I take it, I just got to take it. You got to take that leap of faith with us. I can only do so much with honesty. Honesty.
You have to trust me. Why? Because you have to. That's all. But the detective keeps talking and talking to not give Grant a chance to think about his next move, and just to apply more pressure and more on the fact that it's over and Grant is caught. The detectives have a very purposeful physical pressure tactic here. She is leaned in on the table, extremely close to Grant. The male detective moves his new chair to the middle of the table and takes up a lot of space, close to Grant. This is the first big chair movement, but there will be more in the future. They're trying to take up more space in the room, so that way subconsciously Grant feels like it's closing in on him.
So what are you not telling us? What happened at that home that you know? Grant, I know you want to tell us.
It's on the tip of your tongue. I know you want. It's right there. It's that bad taste you want to get out, to get it off your chest and out of your head. But you got to do it. I can't make you say it. I need you to say it, so then we can move forward with the truth. Like I said, we're at 95. We're probably close to getting 97, 98% truth. But that last step, you got to tell us. Because if when you say something, you get locked into a story, and it's proven to be false, then you got problems. Because what do people look at during the course of an investigation? Did everybody who was honest and who was dishonest? So there's an explanation to things. You have to explain them, and you're missing that 2, 3, 4, 5% of the truth that you're holding back, and that's the most crucial for you right now is the truth. Sounds crazy, but that's a fact. The truth shall set you free. Emotionally, you're probably going to break down because you've got this all pent up inside you that you want to say it, but you're afraid to say it. I get it. I've talked to people that makes all this look like nothing. This whole investigation like nothing. They're just bad. Then once they get this off their chest, they say, I didn't think I would, but I feel better. I know it's tough, but I feel better. Because now I've told the rest of my story. You can't, it's like reading a book and getting almost to the end, the conclusion, and you just shut it. You got to open up. You got to open up to me, man. I'm here to take that information from you, to get you over this hump to a little peace in your mind. You'll never have peace without saying, here, let me tell you.
This is exactly what happened.
And I already know. I'll be honest with you, I already know. This isn't my first rodeo. We've been doing this, between the two of us, 50 years? Over 50 years.
Married.
Over 50 years. I've seen
So what is it you need to tell us that we're missing?
Step over.
I mean, the only thing that I know is just that, I left the house later than what I had said.
If you were trying to defend yourself or something else happened, we need to know now to help you. So tell us what happened, Grant. We're here to listen to you.
Grant, you need the truth. We're here to make this right. You got to tell the truth. It's on the tip of your tongue, my man. I get that. It's
Did your
tough.
father go after you and you try to protect yourself?
No, I didn't do any of this.
There's something that's going to come up that is going to make this all come real. I'd rather it come from you than have to do it that way.
The evidence tells us what happened. You have to fill in the blanks. They can't tell me what happened.
Fact, I know. She never held a gun. She didn't have a gun that night. Fact, he never fired a gun. Fact, he never fired a gun. Never did. This is the person right here, Mom, who always stuck up for you. Something happened so bad that caused her death, your dad's death, and Cody. And I'll tell you just about how it happened. 1, 2, 3. Based on evidence. Based on evidence. I know he did not shoot your mom. I know he didn't shoot your dad. I know he didn't shoot himself. And I know from video surveillance camera in the neighborhood, nobody else came to that house. I know. I can account for everybody that went to the house. I know.
So tell us what happened.
I know it. Listen to me. Hey, I know. Video surveillance tells me everything that happened this night. I'm telling you. Of people that you'd be surprised who in your neighborhood has video. And I know that there's only 4 people was at this house during this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me. You got to tell me, man. You got to tell me. Get over that hoop. The video. If you're sitting there saying no, 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 and video shows something else, guess what? Big problem. Because it will wind up later on that you can't get any help from anybody. A lot of this, what people make decisions on, is honesty. Was somebody honest? Of course you're going to be somewhat dishonest at some point. We get that. We understand that. But at some point when you have that come to Jesus time that now I need to really, I got to tell you what happened. This is it. This is it. Video tells me everything I need to know about this from the neighborhood.
And you're the only one left to tell us.
I know it's hard to look at me, Grant, look at my eyes. I know it's tough, man. I do. It's a tough thing to say, but we need to know what caused things at your house that night to become so bad that we're this. He's violent. We know that. He's got a gun on. We get it. Cody just probably went around with a gun because he normally did. He walked in the house and was shot the minute he walked in the house. The minute he walked in. We see trajectory, we find the projectile, we've got everything on that. He's shot over here and is brought over here. See it over there. We find the bullets in the house. Mom's sitting her thing with a glass of wine, doing her thing, and she's shot. You just got to step over and tell me, man. I want to help you. I do.
The evidence is going to be there.
Most people I would not.
We have cartridge cases, we have projectiles.
And fingerprints.
So you just need to tell us what led up to this.
You've been arrested, correct?
Yeah.
So we have your fingerprints, correct? You understand that?
The detectives put pressure by saying they have Grant's fingerprints from his last crime. They used this to try and get Grant to latch on to the self-defense idea. When he doesn't, the detective says it's going to be bad if he doesn't fess up, as if it's not already bad.
Physical evidence is something I can't manipulate. It's either there or it's not there. Didn't fire a gun, didn't fire a gun, didn't fire a gun. None of them did. None of them did. Cody did not go home.
Or did your father point a gun at you?
No, there's nothing else that I can say.
Then this is not going to end up the way you want to with what you're telling me right now. Factual items do not support what you're saying. Nothing that we can make up, or I think, or she thinks, or whoever thinks. You got to be honest. The minute you start being completely honest, and you're pretty honest with me, I'm not going to say you're not. The minute you tell us what happened to get this to here is the second that we start moving forward with healing. You say you can't something? Yes, you can. There's something that you have done that proves different. I'm telling you. I don't know how else I can't make it any clearer. there's something there. Just tell me. Tell me. Your emotions, your demeanor, your body language, your eyes tell me everything I need to see about you. You want to tell me in the worst way. You want to get this pain off your chest. Do it. Come forward. Tell the truth. It's like going to church and doing your confessional. When I go to church, the few times I go a year and I get up there and ask for forgiveness, I feel 100% better for all the crappy things I've done and didn't do what I should have done throughout the course of the year. Short with my coworkers, short with my kids, not living the way I should live. Gets me too. And when I go up there and make my confession to the pastor, it makes me feel better.
I mean, there's just nothing else that I can say.
There's nothing else that happened in that home while you were there that would lead up to this?
No.
Your father didn't point a gun at you?
There was nothing else more than what I had said.
Then who do you think did this?
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I'll give you a few minutes to think about this and think about life decisions and where do we go from here. Want a few minutes to collect your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Give you a few minutes.
You know, the only thing that I have is just the times in which I had left the house. You know, there was still there was an argument when Cody had gotten home, and then there was nothing that he could do to help me. So I don't remember the exact time when I actually left, but I had left later than what I had said.
All of this silence and manipulation of the crime scene photos is just to pressure Grant into talking. It does end up working, and Grant admits to lying about his timeline.
So you were home when Cody got home?
Yes.
Tell us about that. What time did he get home, and why did he come home?
I mean, he got home at, I think, like 10:30. I still think that's when he got home, was like at around 10:30. I don't know why he was able to leave early.
And what was going on at the house when he arrived?
My dad and my mom were arguing, and then I was still just packing up all my stuff, or gathering the things that I could gather. And then when Cody got home, he started to transgress with my dad, and I was still kind of just staying out of it and doing my own thing. And then the end result was still the end result, and then I had to still leave.
And then, so is it true that you still met Cody up the block, or was that...
No.
So you didn't meet him up the
No.
block? So why did you tell us that?
I don't know.
All right, so then, now let's start from the time you and your father started having the argument, about 6:30 you said, when he got home?
Yeah.
Tell us exactly what happened from that time on. Even what was said.
I mean, it was just a lot of yelling. I mean, it was everything that he had been telling me for the past months and months and months about just how I had ruined his retirement and how I had pushed him back, and now, you know, he'd never be able to do the things that he wanted to do because I had saddled him with a lot more expenses, and that I had told him that, you know, once I can get a job, then I have plans to make amends for the things that I had caused for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And he's yelling.
Yeah.
He's heated. Are you yelling back at him?
No, I had never yelled at my dad.
And are you sitting on the couch downstairs, like you said?
I was in the living room, yeah.
And at what point does he put his hands on you?
It's just, it's like maybe 5 minutes into the conversation. So, there wasn't really anything that was a trigger that I can think of.
What was your reaction when he grabbed your shirt and pulled you up?
I mean, I had always been passive, so I mean, I didn't fight back or anything like that. I just tried to get my grounding, and then we were just standing, and it just continued on.
And then what?
And then after that, I started the whole process of...
The male detective is even closer to him now, aligning himself physically on Grant's side now that he started talking. This will seem like an ally to Grant, and seem like it's him and his friend versus someone else, rather than two detectives versus him.
Gathering everything.
And where's your mom at this point?
She was still in her office.
Did she intervene at all?
She had gotten up to say that, you need to settle down, or some sort of diffusing statement that she always used to make. And then my dad yelled at her to stay out of this, and then she just went back into there.
Based on the evidence, Margaret was shot around 4:45, right after sending a message for work. Chad was shot around 6 while emptying his lunchbox in the kitchen, and Cody was shot around 10:30, entering from the garage into the home. Based on this, everything Grant is saying here is a lie, but he needs a reason why he would not be in the house at the time of the killings. He thinks this sounds plausible to the detectives that Cody got mad, he was kicked out, and reacted. However, whether Grant left at 9:30 or midnight, the autopsies can prove his parents were dead before both, so this timeline doesn't work. Also, Grant staged the scene by putting his dad's holster on, but he put it on the wrong side, and he also put Cody's gun near Cody's body. He then put down bullets around the bodies, but they didn't match the size of the bullets he shot them with. One of his friends had a gun go missing, and the murder weapon was never recovered, but his friend thinks Grant stole it one day while pretending to use the bathroom. The gun that was stolen does match the ballistics of the bullets that killed the Amato family.
Okay, and then what? What happened next?
I mean, then it was just a lot of yelling and confrontation between me and Dad, but there wasn't anything more physical about it. And like I said, I was just going up and about, getting my stuff and taking it out to my car and getting back whatever I could gather.
And what did your dad do while you were doing that?
He was just following me around.
Just making sure you were gathering your stuff to get out?
My possessions and not taking anything of his.
And how long did that go on before Cody shows up?
I mean, that was for 4 hours or something like that.
So you did that for 3 hours?
Yeah.
Gathering your stuff?
And dealing with Dad, and because it wasn't just like he
just
wouldn't
pack up those 2 little bags you brought. Was 3 hours?
Yeah, he wouldn't just. I mean, I went onto my computer to back up some stuff onto some flash drives and all that other stuff, but it wasn't just with him where I could just go and do my thing. He would stop me, and then we would talk for an extended period of time, and then I would start to do my thing again, and then it would stop again, and that's all it was.
Was your father wearing this?
Yeah.
And what about that gun on his waist?
No.
He didn't have that on?
No.
Is this normal?
No. I hadn't seen him have his gun since high school.
So he doesn't walk around like this normally?
No.
Why do you think he would be like this?
I don't know if it's because of what he had told me, that if I came back that he would kill me.
And like you said, you're afraid of him.
Yeah.
But we're here to this. This is the person that is coming to solve the problems for you, or came home to solve the problems. There's the one who always sticks up for you, including talking to the girl. She talked to the girl in Bulgaria, didn't she?
Yeah.
She had conversations, said that you're not a bad guy, and how this breakup basically has affected you, didn't she? Told him it was bad. Here's the problem: the dad. This one's behind you, supports you. That one's behind you, supports you. This one, I'm sure, cares about you, but is upset because, like you said, you have ruined his plans for retirement, so he can't retire because of the financial loss. How much money did Cody give you? Approximately. 60,000.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Dad gave you how much?
Like 100,000.
Mom gave you how much?
It's like 30,000 or something.
So around 200,000. And the vast majority of this money went to some girl on the internet. So they're upset. I get that. But we know he didn't fire a gun. We know she didn't fire a gun. We know he didn't fire a gun. He shot the second he walks in the house.
At what point does he come into the house?
It's like 10:30
And where does he enter?
through the garage,
Where does he park his car?
under the awning thing.
Outside, not in the garage?
Right.
So do you see him walk in? Or hear him come in?
No.
So you're upstairs maybe, or where are you when he comes home?
When he came home, I was gathering some of the like power bars into my little shoulder satchel thing.
And where are the power bars, in the kitchen, or?
In the kitchen.
So you see him come in?
I hear the door, but then
Okay.
that's it.
And then when do you see him physically?
I see him when he walks into the kitchen.
And what do you guys, what is said?
He asks me what I'm doing, and I basically tell him the quick, short story, because at the time my dad and my mom are talking.
Where were they?
They were in her office.
Okay, and what is the short story you tell
That
Cody?
that Dad caught me still talking to the girl that had caused all the problems, and that he was kicking me out of the house because I had broken his rule.
Did you tell Cody that he threatened to kill you if you came back home?
No, I still didn't tell Cody about that. I had told Cody previously when I went to Cornerstone that that's what Dad was going to do if I had made any more mistakes, not the specific one that I had caused, but if I had made any more mistakes. And then Cody told me that he was going to do that when I went into one of the side offices with him before they officially dropped me off.
When you went to Cornerstone?
Right.
So your dad had told you in the past before that he would kill you?
Right.
For what reason?
If I basically did anything related to this, again, costing him a lot of money.
And Cody knew about that?
Right. He just didn't know about the one that was just said. Whether or not he knew from like the paper that my dad had written out of all the consequences and everything like that.
When did your dad write this paper?
Before they came to get me on the 4th. I mean, I don't know the exact time.
Do you know where the paper is or what it's written on?
It's written on like a greenish yellow college ruled just piece of paper and pen.
In the office or a bedroom? Or?
I don't know where he keeps all of his stuff.
All right, so what else do you and Cody talk about?
So then after talking about that, he says that he'll take care of it, and then him and my dad, they're the ones that always yell and raise their voices and everything like that.
So did your dad eventually enter the kitchen, or did Cody go to your dad in the office?
No, my dad came in when he heard that me and Cody were talking.
And what was the conversation then?
When they started to talk, I just left the room, and I just went back upstairs.
So you didn't hear what they talked about?
I mean, not in any. It was more just that he was defending that it's just, that I just did this, and that it's not like it's costing any money.
Were they yelling? Did they raise their voice? Or they were talking?
They were yelling.
Did you hear any threats or?
My dad had said that that everybody had agreed that if I had done this, that I would have to go. That there wasn't any more wiggle room or second chances or anything like that. And then you know, he came around to the base of the staircase, and then he told me that I need to go.
Your father did?
Yeah. And then I told him that I was just trying to pick up the last few things that I needed to. There was like a bag of my, like a trash bag of like my clothes that I had still not unpacked from when I got back from Cornerstone, that I just, you know, had to gather and put into my car, you know, all that just random stuff. And then I don't know what time I actually left, but I think it was closer to like midnight or something.
And when you left, where was your mother?
When I left, my mom was still just in her office.
And where was your dad?
Dad and Cody were just yelling inside the kitchen.
So when you left, you heard them yelling?
Not really yelling anymore, but they were. It was basically just the same exact conversation that had been going on, where there was nothing left, and then Dad looked through some of my things to make sure that I wasn't taking anything that wasn't mine. I think the only thing that he had a problem with was that I had taken like some of my paperwork bills from like the Chapman Law Group, but then since I wasn't the one paying for it, that they would need those, but then I still just ended up keeping it because I figured nothing else was going to like be covered for me or anything. So then after I left, I took the Fort Christmas Road that connected up with 50, and then I was just at the Publix for the rest of the time.
The same Publix we talked about earlier on 419. So from about midnight till 7 a.m., like you said, you were at Publix. And then is everything else the truth as far as the job interview and so on and so forth?
All the rest of the times were accurate, and when I looked at the site, I only saw a small blurb.
So when did you learn that your family was dead?
I had been worried since last night when I was just in the hotel, but I knew when you guys told me. I mean, like, I knew when you guys had told me.
You already knew, though.
But I had...
You already said, you knew.
At any point, did you feel like you needed to reach out to Cody and see if he was okay, or...?
I just didn't want to call anywhere. I just didn't want to know.
But you couldn't call.
Well, I mean, you had brought up the
hotel room was there.
Phone, but I just I didn't even think of to use that.
You got a medical background, correct?
Yes.
You ever been to an autopsy?
No.
Okay. An autopsy tells us a lot of things. Cause of death, a lot of times how close somebody was to something. Again, remember what I told you earlier? She didn't fire a gun, he didn't fire a gun, he didn't fire a gun. So they didn't get into a shooting amongst themselves inside the house. Angles tell us a lot of things. Dad was over here when he got shot. The bullet's in the cabinet and in the wall. We know that. That's one of those facts we just can't dispute. I see where shell casings are over here. See where shell casings are in here. See where shell casings are there. Cody was shot the minute he walked in the door, when he first got home. Bullet went through him, from his head to the back of his head, hit the door frame, and impacted into the wall. He never fired. He never fired. She never fired.
And we know what time Cody left work. I mean, from his boss, from his coworkers. And you got to remember, we've talked to everybody before we talk to you. So we know what time he left work. We know why he told his coworkers and his boss why he left work. And we know what time he got home. And we have text messages that he has sent people afterwards. So based on what you're telling us, that he comes home and has this confrontation, talks to you, talks to his dad, you leave about midnight, and he's still there talking to your dad in the kitchen, none of that adds up.
Medical examiner can approximate the time of death based on the body. Now's the time, Grant. Now is the time, buddy. I'm just.
So I believe this, and this happened while you were still present in the house. And for whatever reason, you don't want to tell us. We understand your father was abusive, and we understand that he was the asshole. And if he threatened you, that he was going to kill you when you came back, you were probably in fear, were you not? So did your brother come home to try and defend you, and then this gunfight happened, and you got so scared that you left?
No, I mean, I had left when I had said that I had left.
Which time? Around 9 or midnight?
No, around the midnight time.
Again, we know stuff from the medical examiner office of times. Said this a couple of times. He never fired a gun. He never fired a gun. She never fired a gun. Nobody did. Nobody in the house fired a gun. Fact. We know.
I'm going to get DNA off the guns that are on scene and the cartridge casings.
And all
Any
that.
reason to believe that your fingerprints or your DNA will be on any of those weapons or the cartridge cases that are on the scene?
I mean, not that I can think of. I mean, I know that me and Cody had, you know, like, I mean, we had used each other's guns before in the past, like when we go to the range, but...
But you said you had no access to these guns now.
Right. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago. So, I mean, there's...
So the gun that's still on scene and the gun on your father's waistband, is your DNA or fingerprints going to be on it?
Not that I can think of.
Let me throw something at you. We pulled financial records from your dad, you, Cody, and your mom. Remember that payment you made?
Which one?
The payment on that bill you had?
The $599.99.
I saw that one. Well, guess what got paid right about the same time?
What?
$33,000 of debt was paid off of his credit card. Same time. Within a very short time of each other. Those things go together. Records show what was happening.
Wait, what happened?
$33,000 on, I think your dad, I think it was a USAA credit card. Yeah, $33,000 was paid to pay off that credit card. I just don't know where else to go to get you to come around, because it does not make any logistical sense of what you're telling us. It doesn't. If these two got in the shooting, we would know. We would know they shot each other. We'd know that.
But why Mom?
Things just got so bad and out of hand like never it's been before in your life. Never been here before in your life or your family's life. He's pissed. His future, his retirement, his plans are being upset by you because of the financial cost. I would almost bet this is just a horrible, bad incident that on any other day wouldn't happen. But you and me both know, as does she, what happened that night. You're coming around, and I really appreciate it, Grant. I do appreciate it. Now you're starting to tell more of the truth. Everybody minimizes when they're in a stressful situation. They do. My boss can start yelling at me and try to minimize the effect of it, thinking about what am I going to do? How do I explain to him what happened legitimately? Not that I want to be a liar, but let me explain to him how legitimately something happened. How I bumped my fender on my car, got a ding in it. Try to think, well, how am I going to explain this?
And you've already told us a lie. This whole map thing is bullshit.
So when people start telling little fibs, they add up to big ones. And I told you, just tell the truth. I already know the truth. I know the truth. You can't convince somebody of something they already know the facts of. Walk outside today, you try to tell me it's night, and I know it's noon. I know it's daytime, right? We both agree? Here's the time. Tell me what happened. Tell me what really happened in this very short time to get to where we are here. I'm telling you, 100 times. None of them fired a gun. None of them. A thing called gunshot residue. There's no gunshot residue on anybody's hands. Nobody fired a gun. You didn't shoot him, he didn't shoot him. Neither one of them shot them. I'm telling you, look at everything. He walked in the door, shot them, and he walked in the door. Because right down here is a bag he carries in. Dropped right there where he opened the door, walked in, and gets shot. There's Dad's lunchbox right there. Dad came home, was probably messing with it right around here. Arguments, whatever's going on, whether there was even an argument. Dad gets shot, and he drops right here. And most likely either got pulled or crawled over here. Over here. I wonder what DNA is going to be in that blood right there. What's going to be on your dad's pants? Because we got his pants. We take all their clothes, everything that we take. Your DNA going to be found on his pants?
No.
You sure? It may be a question I'm asking I already know the answer to.
I know, but my DNA shouldn't be on his pants.
Shouldn't? Okay. Explain to me, I just need you to tell me, why the minute he walks in, he gets shot. He's shot, it's right there, just above there is what it is. We got an investigator of the autopsy right now, and the doctor saying, here's what happened, here's where he's shot. Cody shot right below the eye, it comes out the back of his neck, and into the wall. Dad shot twice. And the doctor basically said he could have crawled from here to here because of the injury.
And we're going to look at their clothing, your clothing, for DNA, gunpowder, blood spatter, all of that.
Inside of your car, all the stuff that's in your room, all your electronic footprint, we're going to look at. We will look at it. We will see it. It's a whole lot easier for you just to say what happened than to have to come out here and say, here, boom, 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 because that may change the direction of this case severely. Of whether somebody says, here, let me tell you what happened, it got me here. This blew up, he's been threatening me, he's upset at me, I've ruined, his financial success and his plans for retirement with the house.
Cody tried to get involved and you wanted to protect Cody. That makes sense. You and Cody are close.
I don't have the answer for anything else.
Okay. This is the last time before I'm going to walk out now, and then I'm done. Then I'm done for good. When I'm done, I'm done. They won't be, hey, can I come back and talk to you? The minute I walk out that door with your story is where you stay at. That's your lot in life. I'm more than willing to sit here all day and all night, if you want to talk, to find the facts. But I can't. I told you from the beginning, I will not deal with somebody that's not being truthful with me. You're not being truthful. You're not telling me the truth. You've lied, and we've forgiven you over that. We've forgiven you over it. You can't lie about this, Grant. You can't. This is too important for your family of what has happened. There's not somebody out running around the United States that killed them. There's not. There's nobody out there, some hidden killer. There's not. You don't show the remorse that you should for someone who's lost 3 family members. Body language, eyes, and demeanor. Here's the time, man. I know it's tough. Tell the truth, because when I walk out, there is no another day.
And it's going to look worse for you when we prove it by the DNA, the gunpowder, the blood spatter, fingerprints. Now is the time for you to be honest with us and is exactly what happened in that house before you left.
We'll be there for weeks gathering evidence. We are going to build the case, because we're going to disprove the fact that nobody else came in this house. We already know that answer. But at some point, we will build a case to the conclusion that nobody else went in.
I don't have anything else that I can say.
This is your last chance to tell the truth, but I'll stay here all day and all night. Like, that only works if the suspect is actually scared you're going to leave, but you're clearly not. They are using Grant's past lies in the confrontation to create more pressure.
you know, my brother even said the same thing of, like, when all this financial stuff was happening, like, why I couldn't show, like, sadness towards it. And, I just don't know. I mean, I just don't know what else to say.
Do you not feel bad for doing this to your family?
I don't know.
You don't know what? You don't know if you feel bad for doing this to your family?
I mean, I've been getting blamed for the last half a year for everything, and I've been trying to move forward into a positive direction. And then every day I'm reminded of all the trouble that I had caused. And then I keep being told the same thing over and over again, but there's nothing that I can do to change it.
Do you regret doing this to each one of your family members?
I didn't do that to each one of them.
The female detective asks the leading question, and Grant falls into it, saying he doesn't know if he feels bad, because he's been blamed for over half a year. Perhaps it's because you're a psychopath who doesn't have normal feelings. Not a diagnosis, but just an idea. It's kind of weird that you don't feel anything. Instead of asking the same question, I think they should have fed into that. It seems like he was about to confess, but then the repeated question snapped him out of it and put him right back into denial.
Who did? Who has such an axe to grind with your family that they shot him twice in the head, him in the head, and her? Who has it? Here, you sit in my seat for a minute. Sit in my seat. Get out of it. Here, sit right here. Come here. Sit right here. Get out of that seat. Sit right there for me. Sit on it. Look at it. Look at it from our side. Look at it from our side. Think of it from the way we look at it. Independent. What are we here for? One thing. The blindfolded ladies with justice. Justice is all we're here for. Justice. Look at it. Who has a motive? Who has a motive to hurt your family? You could say Jason, but we already know where Jason was. I can account for every bit of Jason's activity. Every bit of it. Jason gave a statement. What's the first thing we looked at? Is Jason telling the truth? Can we verify what he told us? And in quick succession, we did. He said I was XXXXS, and yep, he sure was.
And we know exactly when Cody left work.
And know when Cody got home. And know when Cody stopped answering his phone. And know when bills were paid. And knows when vehicles left. And know when phones tagged hotspots. Know it all. Know every bit of it. Now it's time for you to admit to what you know. Because you're saying, I didn't do something, I don't know something. It's an easy thing to say to yourself, but you can't say it to us. Because facts and evidence don't lie. I've done everything I can do to get to the bottom and the truth. And we're not getting there. But I promise you down at some point, the facts will get there. And then you're going to ask, hey, can I talk to you and tell you what happened? And the answer is no. After we walk out of the room, like I said, it's done. There is not a second chance. There's one time to make a first impression. You heard that one before? This is it. I believe you're not a bad guy. I do. I believe you want to tell us what happened. And there's a reason this got so bad. There's a reason.
The detective has him change chairs to move his psychological process into a different state of mind, where Grant is viewing it now as a detective rather than a suspect, so maybe then he can admit he looks suspicious. The tactic of your only chance to confess and tell your story is right now. You're not a bad guy, you just did a bad thing. That's okay, everybody makes mistakes and you had a reason and it's not your fault. It's a classic.
I don't have anything else that I can say. I mean, I don't have the answers
That you can say or want to say?
that I can say. I mean, I don't know. I know from sitting over here what it looks like. I mean, it's just like when I was accused of the whole grand theft thing. And then it's, you know, everything from security cameras and all this other stuff for saying this, that, and the other, but then there's nothing that showed that I had done anything wrong. And I don't know what else I can say.
So what they accused you of, you didn't do?
The grand theft thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Two things that happened here today. Two things. You're a guy swimming out in the middle of the ocean, and we're going to give you one of two things based on you. You can have a life preserver to keep from drowning, or you get the boat anchor. And it's which one do you want? Because we will give you whichever one you ask for. The life preserver, the boat anchor.
No, I want the life preserver, but I've said everything that I can.
You want it, and I believe you do, but you have not said everything you can say. Be careful of locking yourself into something, because just like this, you've locked yourself into, I was down on Fort Christmas. That's where me and Cody met, which we've proven to be a lie. We already knew that. We already knew that wasn't true. But I'm going to let you say it. I'm going to let you say what you want to about being honest in here. And at some point, we will pick that apart of why you're not honest and what physical evidence shows to be. What physical evidence shows to be.
Grant says he does see he looks guilty, but the actual digital footprint can't prove he killed his family. This actually gives the detective a strategy to go back in. The detective points out where Grant has been dishonest, and the physical evidence is proving Grant is guilty, not the digital evidence. The digital evidence is just breaking down all his other lies.
If you want to be honest, this is it. This is the time right now to be honest. You say, you're saying what you want to say to me right now. Just like you wanted me to believe that you were down on Fort Christmas down the road with Cody. That you wanted to. That's what you wanted me to believe. And there's a reason you were being deceptive to me. Because it doesn't matter where you met him and had this conversation. If you lie about something small, you lie about something big. You're being deceptive. Over something that doesn't matter if you met him down the road or not. There's no reason to lie about where you met him at. This is it. Your one chance in the rest of your life to be honest about this right here. You say, I've told you what I can tell you. You told me what you want me to know. Just like you told me what you wanted me to know about that. And for Eva to know what you want to know about that. But it's not true. Just like you want to tell me what you want me to know about this. I get this. I get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't. One, I get. I understand. She didn't bully you. She didn't belittle you. She didn't run you into the ground. Nor did he. I don't get it. But this is it. Because you're just about, I've kind of got a number in my mind that I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk out and we'll take our stuff and be on our way and you're going to go the way you go. But there will be a time where you ask for that life preserver. I can't give it to you. I can't. Once I cross a line I got to step over, can't do it. Won't do it. Think about that. I want to talk to her for a minute. Think about the last life preserver I can give you. Think about it. Take a few minutes just to reflect on it, and then we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes, and then we'll go from there. And what happens is what happens. Fair enough?
They leave the photos with him, so he can't escape looking at what he's done, and thus won't be able to not think about it. Grant puts his head down and doesn't look at the images, so he can escape them. He does that for quite a while, but I edit out most of it because it's just the same thing for minutes on end, and he doesn't really move.
You alright, Grant? You okay? Need some food, some water? You good to stay for a while longer? You okay?
I mean, I just don't have anything more that I can say. I don't know what the next...
I'm not keeping you here. If you want to stay, well, I'll talk to you till whatever, till you're happy with everything and you're okay. You're not detained. You're not being kept here. You're here willingly. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
You're still, look at me. You're still here voluntarily. I'm not detaining you. I'm not keeping you here. Like I said, if you want to walk out and take a break, catch your breath, get something to eat. If you want something to eat, I've been here for a while. If you want something to eat, I'll be more than happy to get you some food, whatever you want. We'll send somebody to go get it, or whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. I said, you're voluntarily here.
I mean, I don't know what the...
I will stay here and talk to you until you get everything off your chest as long as you want to, but you're here on your own accord. We talked about that at the beginning, remember? You're here because you want to be here. You wanted to come up here. You had no problem coming. You're here.
Grant was never read his Miranda rights. If you come in voluntarily, the police do not have to read you your Miranda rights, since they are not detaining you. The detective wants Grant to fully understand this, so that way the footage can still be used against him in court.
So, you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay. Give me a minute, we'll get you out of here. You all right? You have somewhere you want to go? You too, we can put you up in a room for the night. I know things are tough for you.
I was just going to go back to the hotel.
I don't think you're going to be able to get back into that room. But if you want, we can put you up somewhere for the night.
I mean, yeah.
Where you want to go? You got somewhere you want to go?
I don't know where I can go.
Got a certain area you want to go to? A friend? So we don't mind putting you up at a hotel for the night. We got some hotels right here in Sanford. Would that be all right? Get you in here? Okay. What we'll do is we'll get you up somewhere. I'll give you my card, my phone number. If you want to talk to me, you're more than welcome to call me.
Oh, let me get a tissue to show the detective how sad I am. The detective gives Grant a consoling pat and is super nice about getting him a hotel room. The detective wants Grant to have positive feelings towards him, so he may confess at a later point, because all that stuff earlier about how this was his only chance was BS, and of course they'd be willing to take a confession at any point in time.
And we'll move forward from there. Fair enough? Any questions of me before I go? Or before we walk out? I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Like, what am I, allowed to do?
Live your life.
And what, I mean, 'cause it's like I have my, my wallet and all that stuff is back at the hotel room, and...
State of Florida versus Grant Amato. Verdict, count 1, Margaret Amato. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. Count 2, Chad Amato. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. Count 3, Cody Amato. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
Like and subscribe for more interrogation breakdown and true crime videos to come. If you have one, leave a suggestion in the comments below. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.